Welcome to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television. It is Monday, the 14th day of July, 2025, and we're coming to you live from the Port Mall here in Scarborough, Tobago. I am Adana Kambi. This is the day that the Lord has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it.
Good morning, and my name is Akinlabi Holder, and it is another week and another blessing. Yes, it's so good to be with you all this Monday morning.
That's right. And you know, finally the doors of schools are closed back in Labi.
Yes.
Last year school being Friday, last week was report collecting week for primary schools, and those students who are still in school, they haven't transitioned to their new schools yet in terms of SCA who did CXC.
Yes.
So they collected their reports last week, and this week is summer camp. Summer camps are opening up this morning. So in as much as the traffic might reduce a little bit on the Nation's Road, you might still see a little bit because
still some activities going on. You know, this time there's always, like you said, camps for the children, and then you have your kids, they want to go online with their friends as well. They want to go to the beach, go to the movies. So you'll still have some activities happening, but for the most part, it should ease up.
It should be reasonable, you know, and I just want to implore all of our road users to be safe on our nation's roads. Not because there's an ease means that, okay, I could fly by. Take your time. In fact, when you are driving, why don't you just look to the left, look to the right, see the trees along the highway, see who is passing, stop for somebody to cross the streets. Let us remember that we're not using the roads by ourselves. There are other users as well, and there are so many things to engage in while you are traversing the nation's roads. We have a lovely show lined up for you this morning, and we're so happy that you are here. It's always a pleasure. In fact, it's because of you why we remain number one for morning show here on the island of Tobago. But before we get into all of those juicy conversations, we head on over to the news in 90 seconds.
Thank you, Adana. Good morning. I am Lavian Cupid. Here's what's making your news in 90 seconds for Monday, July 14th, 2025. Over the weekend, the Tobago Division of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service conducted an intelligence-led eradication exercise in the Mariah Police Station District. In an official release, the TTPS noted that on Friday, 11 July, between the hours of 5:45 a.m. and 7:25 a.m., the exercise, which was spearheaded by Acting Woman ASP Williams and Inspector Bacchus, led the officers approximately 900 meters into a forested area near the Springs of Castara, where they detected a strong scent of marijuana. The area was reportedly searched, and the officers uncovered approximately 626 growing marijuana trees and 1,500 grams of dried plant-like material resembling marijuana. The total estimated street value of the find is $5,012,800 TT dollars. The plantation and dried material was subsequently destroyed by the officers by way of cutting and burning. No arrest was made. The TTPS says it remains committed to reducing the availability of illegal drugs, disrupting the operations of those involved in the illicit drug trade, and ensuring continued safety and security of all citizens. Up next, the Trinidad and Tobago Inter-Island Transportation Company has announced additional sailings for cargo transportation during the dry docking of the MV Cabo Star from the period July 12th to August 3rd, 2025. In a media release on Saturday, the company advised all truckers, shippers, and consignees of the additional sailings of the TNT Spirit and the Galleon's Passage to support the cargo operations. The TNT Spirit will depart Trinidad on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8 a.m., while it will depart Tobago on the same days at 2 p.m. The Galleon's Passage will depart Trinidad on Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays at 12 noon, while the vessel will depart Tobago on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 11 a.m. The company further advised all users that the published schedule is subject to change without notice due to demand. And finally, on Saturday night, Dance and Psalms Dancing with Caribbean Stars Dance Sport Championship was held at the Shaw Park Cultural Complex. The anticipated event, which is held annually, brought local public figures to the dance floor to showcase their dancing skills. Capturing the first place position with a smooth and soulful performance of the Cha-Cha-Cha was a Mrs. Takia Takiana Ned Augustine, wife of Chief Secretary Fali Augustine, who also copped the People's Choice Award. In fifth position was freelance journalist Cassandra Thompson Forbes. Coming in fourth position was crowd favorite administrator at the Division of Tourism, Culture, Antiquities and Transportation, and our former host here on the morning show, Mr. Julian Skeet. And tying for third place was Javon Carrington of Dosefit and singer Lynette Louis. Congratulations to all. And that was your news in 90 seconds.
Thank you, Lavian, for our news there in 90 seconds. And of course, because it's Monday morning, we're going to start off with the feel-good part of the news. Of course, we all know that Dancing with the Caribbean Stars took place there over the weekend. And what an event it was indeed. You know, I sat there looking at the dances, even the children. Everything about it was just so engaging and just so nostalgic. And, in as much as I love to dance and I know about dancing, it's just a feel-good type of thing, I sat there and I was feeling as if I wanted to be a part of it. So, I must say congratulations, of course, again to Dance Ensemble. And what about our Caribbean stars? Lavian, you said it, the crowd favorite there, Mr. Julian
Good
Skeet.
morning, Julian Skeet. I hope all is well with you this morning. Congratulations on such a beautiful and wonderful performance. Congratulations. And, as he did say, he learned quite a lot. And I'm pretty sure just the experience engaging in something like that. I'm no dancer. If the rum tell me as a big dancer, I might do something. But I'm no dancer, but it was indeed really spectacular to look at. Congratulations to them all. Congratulations to Mrs. Augustine. But also, very interestingly, that police officers could dance. Is it that? Was it? Or servicemen could dance?
Servicemen could dance.
Yes, indeed. Servicemen and women did their thing on Saturday night as well. So that it was really, really lovely to watch.
Yes, that is. I want to circle back on Julian because, he's our boy, right? So I show him a little bias here this morning. And did you hear when, I don't know what the criteria were for in terms of judging. I'm not a judge. I can't judge anything related to dancing.
Yeah.
But I do know when I see spirit, Did you hear the crowd when they mentioned fourth place was Julian Skeet?
Everybody's heart was broken.
I think everybody was so terribly disappointed because, as you said, Lavian, crowd favorite, people were rooting for him. I must say that Takiana did really, really good. I will give her first place, but fourth place for Julian Skeet, still not happy at all.
Sometimes you want to see that the judge sheet, because you're like, what happened?
Yes, you really want to see how they scored this.
To see what happened.
Yeah. But I could tell you what my experience in judging different competitions in terms of pageants and stuff like that. When you score somebody, you have your score. All the judges have their scores, and then you have a conversation after. And sometimes you have to determine who are you going to say is the winner, who are you going to put forward as the winner, because in as much as my score sheet might say contestant number 3 or contestant number 4 might be the winner, by the time you tabulate the scores, you end up with a different winner altogether. Right. So it's really a difficult job for judges. Look at these moves. Look at the moves. Look at them. I must say again, congratulations to Dance Ensemble and all the persons who put themselves forward to participate in this event, showing that you can slow down from life a little bit, slow down and take in the moments and be a part of what is happening. Look, wiggle.
Yeah, man. And next year in Adana, we're looking forward to see Akin Labi.
That, of course, but
I was looking forward to seeing you, Lavia.
But of course, we have to continue representing.
If they call, I will answer the call soon.
That's what we're saying. Take the challenge.
That's right. So I do hope that all the persons who participated and those who cheered on, all the supporters, that you continue to have a good week this week.
Yes,
keep the spirit of dancing with you. Keep the spirit of joy, the spirit of laughter and love and good cheer with you for the entire week. And love you and you as well. We do hope that you have a wonderful day today, and we'll see you again tomorrow.
See you guys tomorrow. Have a great day.
You too, dear. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of the morning where we celebrate with those who are celebrating. It's time for our birthday shout-outs. And as you are aware, we here at Tobago Updates Television, we love a good birthday celebration. And what better way to start off the celebrations this morning than by saying happy birthday to little Princess Rain Richards. It's her birthday. Yesterday, in fact, she celebrated a birthday, so it's a belated birthday. Guess how old she turned? This sweet little angel turned 3 years old. And we want to say a special happy birthday to you. We hope the celebration continues. And this birthday greeting is coming from mommy, your daddy, everybody who loves you, your brother, and all of us here at Tobago Updates Television, we say happy birthday to you, sweet Rain, and do continue to have an amazing birthday season.
We continue the belated birthday greetings and we say happy belated birthday to Mr. Luke James Trim. Yes, Mr. Luke James Trim, he is part of our family here at Tobago Updates, and we wish him God's richest blessings. We know that he would have celebrated well yesterday, and we hope that the celebrations continue today and maybe into the rest of the week, Adana.
Well, if you know Luke James Trim, he's been celebrating from January 1st and he'll continue to celebrate until December 31st. That is our boy Luke. So continued blessings upon your life, Luke, as you enter this new chapter. May God continue to guide your steps and provide opportunities for you. So happy belated birthday. Next is Miss Kimoy Williams. Kimoy Williams is celebrating a birthday, and we say happy birthday to you. We pray God's blessings upon your life, and we do hope that you have a wonderful, amazing birthday. Happy birthday to you.
And we have up next Miss Lisette Brooks. Happy birthday to you, Miss Lisette Brooks. Today is your special day. Yes, today is your special day. Give God thanks and praise for letting you see another year. And we pray that you are safe in your celebrations today and that you're surrounded with your friends, your family, and they'll shower you with gifts and goodness and hugs and kisses and all the good things. Happy birthday to you, Miss Brooks.
Of course, and even if you did not make, if you don't have your photographs, in fact, for this birthday celebration, we still celebrate with you, whether you're celebrating a birthday, an anniversary, whatever you are celebrating, we join in the celebration with you, and we remind you to put God first, because he is the sole reason why there's even anything to celebrate. And talking about celebrations, I know you might have been missing our girl Biana, but she has a little message for you, and in fact, it was her birthday yesterday too, so we say happy belated birthday to our very own Biana Bremner, and this is what she has to say to you, her viewers, this morning. 13 days into recovery, and I would be ungrateful not to pause and celebrate how far I have recovered. With a truly humble heart, I want to say thank you to everyone who reached out, checked in, and lifted me up with their prayers, kind words, and unwavering support. It meant a lot. I am taking it one step at a time, and your encouragement continues to make the journey lighter. I am truly grateful for all the love and positivity sent my way, and I hope everyone had a fantastic weekend. I certainly had one, since yesterday was my birthday. A productive week to all ahead, and as Adana would say, if you can't be good, at least be safe. Happy belated birthday to you, Biana, and that, of course, is her saying thank you for all the love and well wishes that you are sending her way. Her recovery she's doing quite well in her recovery. She's progressing nicely, and soon you'll see her back in the studio doing her thing at the news desk. But in the meantime, we do say thank you to Lavian for standing in the gap for her there. Akinlabi,
yes,
it's Monday morning. Who are we having
14th.
Conversations with this morning?
Okay, so this morning we're going to have conversations with Assemblyman Natisha Charles Panton, Secretary for Food Security, Natural Resources, the Environment, and Sustainable Development. And she's going to be talking about Community Care Program and the District Goodwill Project. After that, we're going to have on Seychelle Duncan, who's an SCA student, as well as Leslyn Nori, who is Miss Duncan's parent. And they're going to be talking about the 2025 top SCA students in Tobago. You know, Seychelle, she did very well in the recent SCA exams. And finally, we're going to have one Megan James and Jamel Morton. They are the founders of BTD, yes, Build to Donate. And they're going to be talking about the BTD treasure hunt.
Sounds absolutely amazing, and we do hope that you, our viewers, can stay to be a part of the conversations this morning. But before we go for a break, of course, you might be wondering what's in my cup. What's in my cup is sponsored by LCJ Delights, and this morning I'm drinking some good old Greater Woodbush. Yes, Greater Woodbush tea. LCJ Delights is located at the Signal Hill Micro Enterprise Complex there at Signal Hill, so you can check them out for your teas and the flour to make your porridge, your pancakes, and your waffle. All your breakfast menu you can find there at LCJ Delights up at the Signal Hill Micro Enterprise Unit. We have to go for a short break before we begin conversation here in studio this morning, and as we go, we invite you to help us. Share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
My name is Tina Macmillan, your last year's third place winner and Miss Photogenic for last year's Miss Heritage Personality Show. And this year, I want to carry you with me for my Tobago Heritage Experience. I'll be hosting With Tobago Updates, bringing you live coverage behind the scenes and also their giveaways, tickets to the heritage events, and a 2-night stay to the Manzolina Grand. So you need to stay locked on to Tobago Updates on all their social media platforms, Keena Macmillan on Facebook and originalmedusa.tt on TikTok. My Tobago Heritage Experience with Tobago Updates. Stay tuned.
Do something and roll back, come let me reel. I make a brush back. Do something and roll back, come let me reel. I make a brush back. Do something and do something.
When the game is on, you don't want to miss the best moments. With AMPLIA TV, you can enjoy our ultimate sports package and watch your favorite games on the go. Stay connected and informed with sports news, scores, and stats with AMPLIA's fastest internet speeds. Up to 1 GB fiber internet, you can stream riveting football action, cricket, NBA games, and much more. With AMPLIA, it's game on. Visit amplia.co.tt or call 800-4663. AMPLIA. Do more, live more.
Hey, I see girls, I see fun, I see winding up in the sun, I see 10 bottle of rum, DJ start the thing, let me jump. Cause I see girls, I see fun, I see winding up in the sun, I see 10 girls to a man, DJ start the thing, let me rum my shit. When my team touch down, everything get wild. Hey, 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 take out your flag and fling it up. Take out something and fling it up. Fling it up, fling it up high. Hey, 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 start to jump up and fling it up. Take out something and fling it up.
Want to get better? Where to start? What kind of exercise to do? What to eat? How to get restful sleep? Need a doctor to search for root cause? Look no further. Come to Majuba Hill Lifestyle Center Foundation at our Wellness Center in Goodwood, or Food Hub in Darrow Springs, Scarborough, or Doctor's Office in Goodwood and Darrow Spring. Contact 49 Swift 4979 438.
Hello, New York! Are you ready to celebrate the essence of Crusoe land and the culture of Tobago? Well, get ready for Tobago Day in New York City, hosted by the Tobago Empowerment and Alliance Mission, Sunday, August 17, 2025, Nazareth High School Courtyard, 475 East 57th Street, Brooklyn, New York, 12 noon to 8 p.m. We bring the Tobago vibes to the Big Apple. Live music, Tobago food, cultural performances, and family fun. So bring Tanty, Granny, the uncle, invite the whole neighborhood. Just bring everybody and bring your significant other too. Come celebrate Tobago Day in New York City, Sunday, August 17th, Nazareth High School Courtyard. Oh, I forget to tell all you, it's the 10th anniversary celebration. For more information, call 929-327-7857 or check Team's Facebook and Instagram pages, Team Tobago Day.
Quartz is well known as the Caribbean's largest retailer, providing consumers for generations with the very best products to enhance their homes. This year, we bring our expertise to businesses. Quartz Business Solutions will serve small, medium, and large companies with the very best products at the most competitive prices, backed by warranties and after-sales support. Hoteliers, office managers, restaurants, and so many more. Quartz Business Solutions, a brand of the Unicomer Group.
Welcome to Tobago Glass Supplies, where innovation meets excellence and service reigns supreme.
Well, I want a proper window for me house, yeah? I want no shake thing in with place.
Our commitment is simple: to provide high-quality, innovative aluminum, vinyl, and glass solutions for both commercial and residential spaces.
We get one wall on the side and we get one hole. You can put a window there, invent something, a window for put there.
At TGSL, we don't just meet needs, we exceed expectations. Our range includes the finest aluminum cladding options, setting new standards in durability and style.
Well, me meet ya. Me don't know who I'm talking to, but me cousin Tufina tell me for call all you go get proper thing for put that, me no know.
Driven by our passion to elevate, we aim to be the leading supplier in the Caribbean market while retaining our identity as a family-owned business.
Driven? No, I ain't driving. I get a bus ticket. One of me pick me them go drop me down there. Must bring me down there. Russo Trace Springer down by the page down there.
Because at Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, it's not just about products, it's about relationships. It's about you.
It's all about me? Who's your family? You know Edna and Dorka and them, you know them, but you resemble them Edward boy and them Edward people them you.
Tobago Glass Supplies, Russell Tree Spring Garden, telephone number 639-6266. Innovation, quality.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Hey, hey, things will get better. Wouldn't last forever. No, no, things will get better. Hitting the last, hitting the last, hitting the last. But in the meantime, now better days are coming, coming. Change your ways. Don't let this moment pass you by and remain the same. Better days are coming. Patrice and girl, this moment pass you by and remain the same. I want you doing with your time. I hope you don't waste any time. I want you doing with your time. I'm gonna take time right now, but better days are coming, coming. Change your ways. Don't let this moment pass you by and remain the same. Better days are coming, coming. Change your ways. Don't let this moment pass you by and remain the same.
Welcome back to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television, and thank you so much for staying with us. We begin conversations this morning in studio by speaking with a Secretary, Natisha Charles-Pantin. She's the Secretary of Food Security, Natural Resources, the Environment and Sustainable Development. And this morning we begin our conversations about the Community Care Program. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning everyone. Good morning Tobago, Bagatelle, Bacalet. Howdy to everybody.
All right, so we have this initiative and we know that your division is a very large division, and you know there's so much going on. You have so many subsidiaries, so many companies, so many things happening within your division, and every time you spin around you hear something, whether it's reforestation, something is always happening. And so now we have this community care program that we are going to be learning about this morning. So let's get into the conversation in terms of the initiative, where it came from and the intention of it.
So the initiative stemmed from way back in terms of what we used to do with the food box initiative. And because we didn't have a packing house ready, and a packing house is basically where you would bring your fresh produce and, you know, for packaging and handling and all of that. So finally we got the packing house refurbished, and now farmers can come to the packing house and deliver their fresh produce, and that will filter into the community care program. And the community care program is an extension of the food box initiative, and it's really to take food security one step further. So the idea is to ensure that not only persons in Tobago have access to fresh produce, but also to ensure that you take care of your health. Yeah? So it's really in partnership with the Division of Health, Wellness and Social Protection. And let us look at the linkage. Recently, you would have heard the Good Secretary and the Deputy Chief Secretary state that the hospital is in full capacity. Yeah? Why is that? And, you know, when you think about it, how do we eat? What do we eat? Do we know where our food is coming from? And I don't want people to see it as just another way to give out things, you know. But actually what we're doing is monitoring your health with this supplement to your diet, right? Teaching you how to eat, exercise, And so we're taking care of that wellness aspect. So it's an effort to help the division of health, yeah, because what we have in Tobago is a situation where a lot of people are suffering from non-communicable diseases, hypertension, diabetes. You're just hearing people falling down. So that is what it is about, caring for the community. Yeah. So it is, you're marrying the support with you're supporting the farmers as well as you're supporting the community in terms of their health and wellness.
Initiatives like this, as you mentioned, you don't want it to be just a handout.
Correct.
The education part of it is very important. And I feel as if there's supposed to be like a change or a shift in culture in the way we do things. Just last week we were talking on the program and we brought up the same conversation in terms of what the Deputy Chief Secretary said, the Secretary of Health, when she spoke about people are getting sicker. And we are not professionals, but our assessment is, what are we eating?
Correct.
What are we eating? So is there going to be an intense public education drive? Listen, this is not just a handout. We're going to hold your hand step by step to ensure you understand the importance, because sometimes when people get a freebie, they just run in the line. The first 10 people in the line, they get the best box and they go home and that's it. How do you intend to ensure that people remain conscious of the fact that this is not just for you to carry home today and next week you go back into your bad habits?
Okay. Now, when a person, when you and I eat, it is a matter of choice. Forcing people to eat right is a very difficult thing. I know a lot of us would have looked at that program, The Biggest Loser, and other programs in the US. And you would see, even though you're trying to control people's diets, they would always find a way to sneak in food. So changing people's choice is a very difficult thing. Sometimes it's based on your palate, your cravings. And let's be real, some of the foods that we eat, you don't know what sort of flavor enhancers in the food. So sometimes you're thinking, oh gosh, I feel for this type of food. But there's a flavor enhancer that is kind of causing you to have that craving. There is a challenge, of course, influencing people's choices. Even I had personal experiences trying to, you have close friends that might have suffered from a heart attack or a stroke. And even during the recovery period, they'll still tell you, okay, buy a slice of pizza for me, I'm feeling for pizza, even though they know they're not supposed to eat it. So the best way we could do that is to sort of hold their hands. And this is why the community care program asked persons, if you know you're suffering from a particular disease, you want to disclose that, we want to sign you up for the project, so it is a matter of choice, really. We would have had people come into the project and really finding it tough to stay on course, but we continue to monitor, and then when partnering with health would have submitted names of persons who, they would have that in their records, as well as persons in the community that the different assemblymen or councillors might have identified that would need the support. Right? So it's a matter of you realizing that you need to control what you eat and, volunteering your effort. But I'll tell you something though, which I found was successful, an indicator of success. So I don't know if you would have heard some employees from T&Tech might have experienced aneurysms, they come in on the job falling down. So T&Tech recently partnered, them and the union, they partnered with the division, and we are going to roll out an aspect of the community care program for their employees, training them on how to eat and see how we could influence them there in order, so we're looking at it as a cohort. And once we show them how to eat, monitor their figures and numbers, then we're hoping that we have less deaths at T&Tech, yeah? So we are not only focusing on, poverty, but also in terms of controlling the number of deaths that you have as a result of poor eating habits, yeah?
So, Secretary, as you mentioned, working with the cohort and so forth, I want to know the project, is it a limited time only, or is it a year-long project? What is the division's vision in terms of the execution of the project?
Now, it's a pilot, and why it's a pilot? Because this is something new. If you notice that we didn't roll it out for elections because we didn't want it to seem as if it was part of elections. We genuinely want to change the diet and habits of persons, all of us in Tobago. Yeah. So we're going to look at this program, look at the success of it, and take out or add, because as we started out just supplementing people's diets, now we're going to go into a different aspect where poverty is no longer considered as the primary, one of the primary reasons why we're going to intervene, but also where persons on a whole, right? Take as an example. Money is not an issue for them, but it's to train them on how to eat, training them on what is gut health and different aspects of healthcare. So food security in itself is not just about holding farmers' hands, but also the population, the wider population, knowing what you eat, how to eat. Yeah, so I think all of us need to understand that if we're going to think about the future, right, we can't only think about, well, you have children, you want to be able to see your children graduate. Yeah, you want your children to eat healthy as well. So that is what we are embarking on, taking food security one step further.
And in terms of the division of health partnering, an important thing also is for people to know their numbers.
Yes.
I don't know if you have that information, but do you see the average Tobago person coming forward and ensuring they know their numbers, they know their statistics, where do they stand? Do they see the importance and the relevance of knowing this, or is it easier to just join the line in KFC and just buy a 2-piece and fries? How do you see that happening?
The access part is important, right? We don't want people to say we didn't have access to fresh food, fresh produce, and that is what we are trying to ensure. And I think that would take care of you saying you have to stand in a KFC line because you have a choice. Would you want the squash or the pineapples, or as opposed to eating KFC? Yeah, but the access is important. A lot of low income people, they would say it's cheaper to eat that type of food, right? And some people, I'll be honest with you, you'll give hampers, bring relief to people. Some people prefer the hamper over fresh produce. They'll prefer the rice, the flour, and the sugar, right? So it is to try to change that type of culture where we think that food is only what we have processed and packaged and labeled, and we don't know exactly what is in there for you. Yeah. So I'm not saying that you shouldn't eat rice, flour, and sugar, but I think everything in proportion is is appropriate. But you should have access to fresh produce. Yeah.
Secretary, I know that you mentioned that it was a pilot project.
Yes.
Does this mean that you are accessing the participants through, like you said, the various assemblymen, or is it open to the public? Can the public sign up for now?
Oh, definitely. It is open to the public. We have publicized the number that you can contact. An evaluation will be done. But of course, the Division of Health is the first line where people would get, you'll know people who would want the assistance directly from health, right? But of course, you can directly come to the division and inquire about the community care program, and they will refer you to the Tobago Agri-Tech company, right? For now, they are stationed at the division, but they are supposed to move by the end of the month into the new facility at Buku, right? Okay. Yes.
And what has been the buy-in like from farmers concerning this community care project?
Now, the buy-in is good. What we want to do for some of the farmers who were unable to access the program because of maybe excessive use of probably pesticides or fertilizers. So we're using our demonstration stations to equip them with the knowledge that they need to use environmentally friendly pesticides, fertilizers, in some cases where you don't even need to use those things, right? So it's really to train those that were not able to qualify. But of course, we are embracing everyone else. You can also visit the division and register to be part of the community care program.
And when is the program rolling out?
The program is already,
okay.
Yeah, it's already, we have done 2 distributions so far, maybe 2 or 3, right? We want to move, at the end of August, we want to extend the program into the Tobago wholesale farmers market. I'm not sure if you're familiar with a wholesale market, but you can't just walk into a wholesale market and say, I need 2 pounds of cucumbers.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's really for retailers. It would be at the Shore Park Food Hub, right? So you would be able to come and buy in bulk and, distribute retail, right? So that is also another, and you could also be part of the community care program. I am hoping that for World Food Day, that this program and the wholesale market doesn't take away from there, because let's be truthful, we don't have all the produce that we would want in Tobago, and that is why we're looking at different ways to ensure that we beef up production, the production side, right? So that we can facilitate all these different initiatives.
All right. Of course, we do hope that, as Akinlabi asked, in terms of the buy-in from the farmers, but also the buy-in from the general Tobago public, it is open to all of you. I remember there's an assessment that will take place to ensure that you are in line for what is going to be distributed rather. And we also want you to focus on your general health. Even if you are not in line to collect from this particular initiative, you also have a responsibility for your own health and care and wellness, yours and that of your family. Check your numbers. The health centers are open. You can go. It's free to go and get your numbers checked, so you know where you stand, know your statistics, know what you need to do, know what you need to eat less of and more of. Green leafy vegetables, I'll never forget that from primary school. I remember them telling us to eat green leafy vegetables, so get to know your numbers, get to be in the know, and find out more about this community care program, so you can be a part of it. Tell somebody who might not know, who you think might need to be a part of it, so let them get registered, get assessed, and participate in what is happening here on the island of Tobago. In closing, is there anything else you'd like to share with our viewers?
Well, we didn't discuss the community project, right? I hope we have time. Yes, I hope we have some time.
Yeah, we can.
Right. But I want to say that we have a lot of initiatives around Tobago, like 5K runs, and I usually people will see me part of some of the aerobics and all of that. And we all have to be mindful that sometimes we don't know what's wrong with us. You might be walking somewhere and then you just drop down. That would have happened to me once. I just fell down, and then I found out my blood count was 4.5. That's extremely low. So sometimes it happens to you randomly, and this is why, and it's good to have those experiences as a policymaker, because you have that closeness in terms of understanding what people go through and what is needed in the space, so that we contribute in a meaningful way at a policy level, so that it trickles down to everybody in terms of managing people's health and their wellness, and of course achieving our food security goals.
All right. So I'm not sure if that was part of your district goodwill project that you were speaking about.
It should be a goodwill, yeah, because that is extreme goodwill. But when I first got into office that first year, we found a household, a lady that wasn't unable to qualify quickly for support to, get a home of her own. She couldn't afford to pay rent. She had cancer in her eyes. She had a lot of things happening to her at the time, and we saw it fit to intervene, to give her, to let her know that we are out here for her. And that is when I stopped wearing all these straight hair and I started twisting my natural hair to save some money, to put towards that. And she's living in her home now, and every time I go there, she would say very nice things, like she was praying, or so I actually felt the last time when I visited her, she said, I was just praying and then you appeared, and that was really touching for me. And so that is what the Goodwill Project is about. Project Build 1, Project Build 2. It is a program where we intervene in cases where we do an assessment and we feel that people need urgent assistance. So we're on to Project Build 2. This person is from Mason Hall. This family, a family of four little beautiful girls, right? An elderly man and his wife, and we are we started to get some materials from persons. People started to contribute towards it. I myself, my staff, all of us, we are getting together to help put that family in a place where we think is up to standard for the children especially. Yeah, so that is what the Community Goodwill Project is about. Trying to ensure that we touch each household in the best way possible, as fast as possible, right? Given the resources that we have, it isn't government resources. It's a community thing, right? So that is what the project is about.
So is it a community by community based project? How do you go through each community, or how is it set up in terms of identifying that there's a person in this community who needs assistance?
So we, as a representative, as you walk through each community, because Mason Hall is part of Bagatelle Bacolet, right? You'll walk through each community and then you'll sort of rate persons based on what their needs are. Right? So you'd have to really be on the ground and understand each and every household, because you don't have, unlimited resources. It comes from our pockets, it comes from people who are volunteering. So we want to ensure that we make good use of what people contribute and also what we contribute, yeah? So that is what it's all about, ensuring that you're on the ground, understanding your constituents, and then you're putting them, you're rating who is in need of urgent, assistance.
So you go through a needs test with a needs assessment
That's
with
right.
persons.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
And you mentioned that it's not government funds. So it comes from your pockets. It comes from, in terms of persons contributing, willing rather to contribute, yes. What is the feedback like? What is the buy-in like in terms of, you come to me today and you say, Adana, listen, I need $1,000 to buy a couple sheet of ply for this person. And then we move to another community and we see somebody else, they need probably their bathroom needs to be fixed urgently. Come on, I need you to help me to get some time. What is it like in terms of people saying, okay, cool, no problem, I'll get on board? Or do you have sponsors? How does that work? Because resources are not unlimited, so how does that work for you?
It actually works well, having that constituency or that electoral district, you'd have people within the district that know the people. So it isn't a scam or anything, right? People, they know that, okay, this person lives here. What Ms. Pantin is saying is accurate. So it's all about providing the assistance to people who, within the community, that people know that you really need the assistance. So they aren't strangers. We aren't strangers to each other, right? So that's basically it. Once it's within the community, people tend to know the people. So and they reach out accordingly. So people would say, okay, what do they need? You think they need groceries at this time? I have household items. You think this person will need? So they usually reach out to give what they can. Right? It's no pressure, it's what you can give, right? And I like to encourage persons not to give money. You can purchase a voucher, for example. You could visit Armando's or any one of the hardware, and you purchase a voucher, and then we will say, okay, the house might need galvanized at this time, so we'll just go and purchase it with the voucher. So it's not necessarily a money thing, right? It's actually given access to what we can at the point in time. Yeah, so we're encouraging persons to do that, go through that channel.
And what about networking with businesses in the constituency, as well as skilled tradesmen and that kind of thing to help execute those projects?
So we are networking with businesses actually contribute in different ways. So they may say, okay, you can get material, but we wouldn't pay any VAT on it, or pay for delivery, right? You get that type of assistance. Sometimes they will give you material up to a certain amount. That happens as well, right? And of course, you have other persons. Mr. Joe Field came. He's also going to help with the construction, right, of the buildings, giving his service, people within the community as well. So we have people who are genuinely coming forward. They know of the circumstances, so it is not any sort of strange thing. And of course, if you have a contribution, doesn't have to be money at all, right? Feel free to purchase a voucher anywhere, and we will use that. Yes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have been speaking with Assemblyman Natisha Charles Panton. We're talking about the community care program. Yes. Remember, you can be a part of that, as well as the district goodwill project. Yes, we have to be there for each other. We have to be our brother's keeper. Look out for each other, and let's be kind to one another and help as much as we can. Yes. We have to go for a short break before we continue conversations in studio this morning. And as we go, we invite you to help us. Share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
Hair goals, we've got them. At S&R Hair Fantasy, we provide a wide variety of quality hair, the latest hair accessories, adult toys, skin lightening products, female underwear, and much more under one roof. Check us out on Shelbourne Street in Plymouth or call us at 317-0808. We're open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. S&R Hair Fantasy for queens who know exactly what they want.
Are you in a dispute with a registered investment service provider of the TTSEC? Or maybe you're the victim of an investment scam? You can lodge a complaint or submit an anonymous tip to the Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission. Download our Investor Protection app or go to ttsec.org.tt to access our complaint form or submit an anonymous tip. Write a clear summary of your complaint. Submit copies of supporting documents along with the originals for verification. Provide a copy of the feedback received from the entity regarding your complaint. All investor complaints or scam reports submitted by the public are acknowledged and reviewed by the TTSEC. Investigations are pursued based on the outcome of the review. Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission, protecting the interests of investors and the public. You invest, we protect. Everyone benefits.
With Flow Business's new smart solutions, powered by super fast, reliable broadband, you'll feel like there are more versions of you working for you. From website design, development, and digital marketing to promote your business, 24/7 business class support to cloud solutions, security, and more. Multiply your growth today.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television, and thank you so much for staying with us. Before we begin our next conversation here in studio, we have a feel-good moment, and you know that there have been some restorations to some bus sheds on the island of Tobago, and we want to head to Lambo this morning. Lambo, the bus shed there was restored by CP's Bird Sanctuary. Yes, look at how gorgeous it looks. CP's Bird Sanctuary is responsible for the restoration of this bus shed. So we must say thank you to Mr. Colwyn Perry of CP's Bird Sanctuary. We'd love to see more of these bus sheds in Tobago. So we're looking out for all the other business owners on the island as they contribute to the beautification of Tobago. All right, so we continue conversations in studio this morning, and this morning we have the top SEA student in Tobago. Her name is Shelley Duncan, and she hails from the Signal Hill Government Primary School. In studio with her this morning as well is Mr. Leslie Norrie.
No.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I have the name wrong here. Mr. Dexter Duncan, sorry, who is her father. Good morning and welcome.
Morning. Welcome.
Right, so it's a pleasure having you in studio with us this morning. I'm so happy that you are here, and I must say congratulations to you.
Thank you.
And a job well done. And before we get into the actual conversation, how do you feel knowing that you came out top in Tobago?
I felt very shocked and also delighted at the fact that I had just topped Tobago in SCA.
For you, what was the preparation like? Because I know leading up to SCA, there might be a lot of stresses. Daddy wants you to do good, mommy wants you to do good, the teacher wants you to do good, and everybody is just like, revise, revise, revise. What was it like for you getting ready for SCA?
It was very hard, I could say, mainly because we had lots of tests to practice, lots at home to do as well, like homework, and also we had to when the day comes as well. And if we get anything wrong, we also have to do immediate corrections so that we wouldn't make the mistake on the exam itself.
Right. And how were you able to balance that with your regular life in terms of your chores and doing your responsibilities at home?
Oh, well, most times when I get home, I would mainly just spend my time by myself, maybe making stuff or eating, and after that I would probably do my work, get to studying, the homework mainly, and also doing corrections for previous practice tests.
But you sound like if you like studying. Do you like studying? Do you like reading and doing your homework?
Well, to me it's fine. It's not the best thing in the world, but it's fine.
So, Shelley, you are making me laugh this morning instead. And Daddy, in terms of preparing her and getting her ready, what was it like for you ensuring that she had all the resources she needed? For instance, access to past papers, rest, balancing the schoolwork and what was required of her at home. What was it like for you?
It was minimal compared with what my wife would have gone through with her. I would in particular seek to get the practice papers that came with the Express every week, and just try to supplement whatever work she's doing with what in school with what is there. Primarily on weekends I would work with her to try to resolve whatever mathematical or English challenges she had, but that didn't prevent her from getting the time to go about playing with the pan or us taking a break sometimes to hike in the country. Yeah, it didn't prevent all that, but she was up to it and we just worked with that.
Oh, that was going to be my next question. What was her response like? But you said she was up to it. She wasn't resisting. She ensured that she did what she had to do. And when you got the results, when you all heard the results, as a parent, how did that make you feel?
Well, it was a real shock, a real sense of awe, and at the same time we felt humbled. Humbled, because we realized that, yes, we would have done so much with her, and let's say she in turn would have done, well, her best. But we accredit everything to God, and we were really thankful. I must say that at the time that we heard the news, we were not on the island. Soon after hearing the night that she had passed for her school of choice, we flowed for a little holiday. So imagine us, over there trying to rest, but at the same time being assailed with all the exciting news from home that our daughter, Seychelles Duncan, had excelled. And we give God the glory and praise.
That's right. And Seychelles, what are you looking forward to most when you enter secondary school?
Well, I'm looking forward to having more extracurriculars like tennis partly, and also looking forward to meeting new people, probably making new friends, and trying to see what the new work levels are.
Ah, this child, I feel as if I'm speaking to an adult, Daddy. And if you were to advise or, to kind of encourage your classmates or your colleagues in terms of ensuring they remain focused to get the job done, to achieve their goals, because sometimes people set goals, even adults, sometimes I set goals and I fall off the wagon. I don't get to where I want to go. I have to circle back. What are some of the things you would encourage people to do?
Well, I'd encourage them to believe that they can do it and that they should make a balance with all of their activities as well as with their schoolwork, and that they shouldn't have themselves way too occupied to the point they cannot focus. And I also want to remind them that in God you can do anything.
Absolutely, absolutely amazing stuff there. Thank you so much, Seychelles Duncan, and we do wish you the absolute best as you head on over to secondary school. Daddy and Mommy as well, congratulations to you as well, and continue to give her the support that she needs to thrive in a new environment. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been speaking with Ms. Seychelles Duncan, the top SEA student here on the island of Tobago, looking forward to extracurricular activities at secondary school and meeting new people. And remember, she said, in God, you can do anything. So keep your focus, don't get overoccupied, and remain in the place of your goals. Keep your eyes on the prize. We have to go for a short break before we continue conversations here in studio this morning. And as we go, we invite you to help us. Share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
My name is Kina Macmillan, your last year's third place winner and the Miss Photogenic for last year's Miss Heritage Personality Show. And this year, I want to carry you with me for my Tobago Heritage experience. I'll be hosting with Tobago Updates, bringing you live coverage behind the scenes and also their giveaways, tickets to the heritage events, and a 2-night stay to the Manzolina Grand. So you need to stay locked on to Tobago Updates on all their social media platforms, Kina Macmillan on Facebook and originalmedusa.tt on TikTok. My Tobago Heritage experience with Tobago Updates. Stay tuned.
Do something and roll back, come let me reel. I make a brush back, brush back. Do something and roll back, come let me reel. I make a brush back, brush back. Do something and do something.
Hello, New York! Are you ready to celebrate the essence of Crusoe land and the culture of Tobago? Well, get ready for Tobago Day in New York City, hosted by the Tobago Empowerment and Alliance Mission, Sunday, August 17, 2025, Nazareth High School Courtyard, 475 East 57th Street, Brooklyn, New York, 12 noon to 8 p.m. We bring the Tobago vibes to the Big Apple. Live music, Tobago food, cultural performances, and family fun. So bring Tanty, Granny, the uncle, uncle, invite the whole neighborhood. Just bring everybody and bring your significant other too. Come celebrate Tobago Day in New York City, Sunday, August 17th, Nazareth High School courtyard. But hey, I forget to tell all you, it's the 10th anniversary celebration. For more information, call 929-327-7857 or check Team's Facebook and Instagram pages, Team Tobago Day.
I see girls, I see fun, I see winding up in the sun, I see 10 bottle of rum, DJ start the thing, let me jump. Cause I see girls, I see fun, I see winding up in the sun, I see 10 girl to a man, DJ start the thing, let me ram my shit. When my team touch down, everything get wild. Hey, 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 take out your flag and fling it up, take out something and fling it up, fling it up, fling it up high. Hey, 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 start to jump up and fling it up, take out something and fling it up.
Quartz is well known as the Caribbean's largest retailer, providing consumers for generations with the very best products to enhance their homes. This year, we bring our expertise to businesses. Quartz Business Solutions will serve small, medium, and large companies with the very best products at the most competitive prices, backed by warranties and after-sales support. Hoteliers, office managers, restaurants, and so many more. Quartz Business Solutions, a brand of the Unicomer Group.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Imagine hiding keys all over Trinidad and Tobago, and if you find a key, you could own a car. The biggest question is where to hide these keys. Yes, a treasure hunt. Solve some clues, find the keys, and you could own these vehicles. This is an opportunity you don't want to miss. So WhatsApp the number, send in your info, and join the biggest movement to hit Trinidad and Tobago. Now whether you live east, west, north, south, Cedros, Icacos, Point 14, Princestown, trust me, there'll be keys that is easily accessible that you could find. Now think about it. This could be a fresh opportunity or a fresh start for you and your family. You could literally start your business, literally plan something that you always wanted to do, and it could get started because we want to give somebody a push. We want to give somebody a push in this life. However though, after Monday midnight, there'll be no more openings. This could be the opportunity for you. So don't sit down there feeling shy or feeling like you don't want to reach out, because opportunities like these don't ever knock twice. We only accommodating, however, a limited few, and things are about to get closed off and get started.
Welcome back to the morning show on Tobago Updates, and you just saw the BTD team, the Build to Donate team. They're having their treasure hunt, and we have in studio with us Mr. Kester James and Mr. Jimel Morton, who are the founders of BTD. Good morning, gentlemen.
Blessed morning.
All right, so fellas, we just see you on social media all the time, you know, doing these charity events, giving away these vehicles. But just tell us what this treasure hunt is about.
Take it,
yeah, got you.
All right. So this treasure hunt, what we're trying to do, we're trying to hide 20 keys, right? All over Trinidad and Tobago. With the 20 keys, we have 3 vehicles that we're trying to give away, right? We're just trying to do something different because we've been doing this for like 2 years now. So we just put like a spin on it. And the main thing that we're trying to do is build a community, because we realize that a lot of people who involve is a community that keep coming together. So we're building a platform for the community to be able to reach more. You understand? So with the treasure hunt is really just the initiative to push forward and to give people an opportunity that they never had before now, you know?
Okay, and I want to just backtrack a little bit here. Tell us what really drove the both of you all to really get into this Build to Donate initiative in the first place.
Well, for that, COVID was the biggest factor for all of us, and you know, it just goes to show how fragile life could be, and material possessions actually mean nothing. So that is how that whole idea was birthed right there. COVID.
Okay, and like you said, you've been going for like 2 years now.
Yes.
Doing this, donating. We've seen that you're getting a lot of following, a large following, not only in Tobago but also in Trinidad as well. And this treasure hunt, you've extended it to to Trinidad. So just give us a breakdown of the timeline for this treasure hunt.
Well, registration closes today for after midnight. There'll be no more individuals that could actually join. In terms of, it was running for the last week or so, if I'm not mistaken, for the last week. And the timeline, you actually get 2 weeks. So from the 15th, which starts tomorrow, until the 31st, I believe, you'll get the opportunity to go out there and find your keys. On riddles, or the clues will be dispersed to the people who actually registered. And you just have to partake and do your part. And we always have thousands of messages in the inbox, in the DMs, like, when you'll be able to bless us, or when so the opportunity is there for everyone. We just wanted to extend it to a wider range of people.
Okay. And tell us about these game events that will be coming up in August.
Right, so what happens is that we have phase 1, it's 2 phases to the whole thing, right? So we have phase 1 right now is the treasure hunt. Once you actually get access to the phase 2, what it will be is like, think game show, think like Mr. Beast, think like a big family event, which is a charitable event that we're doing, where you'll have games to play, to enjoy, and then after advance to the end of it now. And that is where we'll actually now bless someone with the vehicle. So it'll be like fun games, might be like a driving game or what you know about cars, you know what I mean? But that is the whole idea behind it now. So on the 24th of August is when we're planning to have that. Right?
Okay, so just to be clear, if I partake in the treasure hunt and I find a key, I then have to participate in the game to get the vehicle, or the vehicles at the end of the game is completely different from the treasure hunt?
No, well, thinking about it is literally 20 keys, but it's 3 vehicles, right?
Okay.
So, so it's a Kia K2700, a Toyota Axio, and a Toyota Fila wagon, right? With the Kia K2700, it also caters to a business individual. So somebody trying to start a business, grow their business. We have a financial package actually coming with the van. The vehicle will actually be wrapped in whatever logo the person have by Blue Heron. And in terms of the financial assistance coming from Miss Alana Allen, she'll be able to give you tips and tricks, actually guide you in the business, that kind of thing. All right. So the phase 1, as Kes said, is literally to find your key. The phase 2, you'll actually just be able to narrow it down a little bit, as per se. And very fun, fair, interesting games, more content for us and all to post on the page, more interaction. And it's supposed to be something really fun and exciting.
Okay. The song's very, 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 very good. And I know that you all have been doing excellent work. I want to talk about the support that you all get from businesses to partner for these giveaways.
Right, the support thus far is really beyond tremendous, and is literally, even when we talk about it now, is the community, is the platform that we're actually trying to build and form a stronger bond with, because the small businesses, the companies across Trinidad and Tobago, they actually really, really pushing this thing and allowing us to thrive, or allowing us to even continue to push forward in exactly what we're doing. And it has been so, not really overwhelming, but in terms of mind-boggling. You have to pinch yourself sometimes, because from something that we just talk about by the garage to actually now touching and reaching a wider space in Trinidad and Tobago, it's really, really mind-boggling. And we must say once again, a general thank you.
Kester, when you all started this thing, did you all see it growing into this huge initiative?
No, actually, we just had a thought, and we were just having a conversation, and we thought to ourselves, like, yeah, we'll give away a vehicle, but that was just because we felt like we had to give something. So it spiraled into something else, because I like cameras, I like content, I like to do those things, right? So we started to do like little videos with Jamel, and again, we try to keep the character, as in our character, be seen as exactly how we are. So Jamel is a man on the ground, so he will reach you, he will talk to you. I'm more personal, where I got think for personal development and stuff. So it's just we grew as individuals, and then it spiraled into this. So we are actually growing and strengthening our own self, while we actually becoming so loved by the people now. And it become this thing that we can't control now, because it's community that bringing people together now. So once we start to love each other and love ourselves, we internally start to love the world now, and the world start to love itself now. So that is all that happening really and truly, and it's just passing on the love.
Okay, and finally, if persons want to register, where can they go to register before the deadline?
Well, I mean, all the social medias right there, you just have to go in the link in the bio, and when we say this is literally just go below any BTD platform, whether it be Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. You just scroll right below the logo, the link is right there in the bio. If not, you could actually just WhatsApp our number, 736-7473. Somebody there will be able to guide you through the whole process, walk you through. And I mean, it's nothing too hard, anybody, simple and straightforward. So, yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Kester James and Jamel Morton, founders of BTD Build to Donate. And they're promoting their Build to Donate treasure hunt starting from, I believe, it's tomorrow. Yes, 20 keys to be given away across Trinidad and Tobago. And you will be in the fight for one of 3 vehicles. So congratulations, and we wish you all the best, and we wish you all continued success in the future, because you're doing some very, very needed work.
Well received.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, that's all the time we have for the Tobago Updates morning show. But our programming does not end there. We have GMT up next with Natalie. So do us a favor. Share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back after these messages.
My name is Giselle Gittins-Peters, and I'm the Vice Chair of the Tobago Regional Health Authority's Internship Program. I am extremely pleased to bring warm greetings and officially welcome you to our year 2025. As part of its corporate social responsibility, the Tobago Regional Health Authority, under the auspices of our Secretary of Health and our Board of Directors, would have taken a decision in 2023 to host our first internship program. This is our 3rd year. You are our 3rd year. You are part of this hat-trick experience that we are calling Internship 2025. Did I mention that we are happy to have you? Yes. Yes, we are.
It is truly an honor to welcome you to the opening ceremony of the Tobago Regional Health Authority's 3rd edition of its internship program for 2025. To our interns, congratulations. Today you take the first step not only into the world of work, but also into your own leadership journey. This year's theme, Empowering Our Youth to be Future Leaders, speaks directly to your presence here. You are not just trainees. You are tomorrow's innovators, tomorrow's decision makers, and its change agents.
The theme of this year's internship, Empowering Our Youth to Become Future Leaders, is a true reflection of our commitment at the authority to provide avenues for our youth to be exposed to the dynamic field that is healthcare. We believe that it is our responsibility to broaden public understanding of what healthcare truly entails.
No one is here to hand you an opportunity. Whether you like it or not, life is a competition. You are competing amongst the best of the best to excel in this life. No one's here to feel sorry for you. I'm gonna be point blank with you. You need to excel and go above and beyond for what you want in this life.
Overall, the internship taught me way more than just how to do a job, because if I be honest with all, I was just studying in the morning. I had to be honest. It gave me real world experience because I was extremely naive as to how the real world was. Coming out of sixth form, I only did sixth form to honestly get away from the real world. I'll always be thankful for the people that I met in the internship, the lessons I learned, and the memories I made.
It's really, really good being here this morning as we welcome you to this TRHA internship program. Yes, it is something that started a couple years ago, and we did it because we are investing in something that is far bigger than just training. Yeah? We are doing something today that is way bigger than just an orientation. What we're doing right now is investing in the future of healthcare in Tobago. What the Tobago Regional Health Authority is doing right now is investing in every single one of you.
So today, as we converge here at the Victor E. Bruce Financial Complex to culminate the commemoration of Global Money Week through our Smart Sense Video Challenge prize-giving ceremony, we recognize the importance of financial literacy in shaping a secure and successful future.
I feel heartened, excited, and I'm indeed happy. Because when I looked at the goal of Global Money Week, the goal really is to ensure that all children and young people have access to high quality financial information and education that allows them to make smart financial decisions that can improve their future financial resilience and financial well-being. Today, I'm also heartened to see the students that are represented here today, that we are able to hone the skills that you have embedded inside of you. And from what I've heard, I'm indeed proud, and I feel a sense of accomplishment that with financial literacy and the mandate that we have here in the division, that we are able to bear this kind of fruit and see these kinds of results.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
You're viewing Tobago Updates Television, your exclusive gateway to Tobago, broadcasting the beauty of this island paradise to the world.
It's Good Morning Tobago. I'm your host, Natalie Celebrate. I know on Friday I told you, see Chanel, I forgot I was going to morning. So I am here, we are here, and thank you for staying with us and viewing the 14th July 2025. And I know officially closed last Friday and the holiday begins. Many of you sharing out your children into the various vacation Bible schools. Some of us don't like to use it with summer camps, but that's what we're using now, right? July, August vacation. And we have to keep the young ones entertained and occupied. But please ensure their safety. I know you're dropping them off to various camps. Make sure you know where your child is and the environment in which they are going to be spending time over the July-August vacation. And with with that said, let me introduce my guest for this morning right away. We know her. She's been in the news quite lately for some reason. I don't know what's the special attention we're giving to her, but she's here with me this morning. Dr. Faith Brebner, our Deputy Chief Secretary and also Secretary in the Division of Health, Wellness and Social Protection. Good morning, and thank you for being with us this morning.
Good morning, and thanks for having me again in the news.
Yes, and I'm getting right into it. Now, recently, I know the Ministry of Health would have paid visit. We know that we have a new central government. The ministers have been visiting Tobago, trying to, I guess, understand what's happening on this side as you know, governments work together. Can you tell us about the significance of that visit, and as Secretary, what you hope comes out of such a visit like that?
Certainly. So it is a significant, because now that you're saying it, I do not think that I've actually toured the hospital with any other minister before this one. So it is truly significant, probably more than I had thought when it was actually happening. But you know, when the government shifted, we had an understanding that we were trying to work together in a way that did not happen before. Not for want of trying, but it simply did not materialize the way it should have, but it is materialized now. So shortly after, I visited the minister at the head office in Port of Spain. I actually visited 2 or 3 of them at the same time. And at that time, I invited him to come to Tobago to see what we were doing and to determine whether there were ways that we could truly collaborate. You know, whenever you hear the budgets being read, you usually hear about the amount of money that the Tobago House of Assembly is being allocated. But you always then hear about the additional monies that are being spent in other ministries in Trinidad that should be spent in Tobago. And for the last 3.5, almost 4 years, we were wondering where that money is spent, because we didn't see it here. Now, it seems like there may be opportunities for that kind of partnership to truly happen. And that is why the minister was here. So we visited several components within the Scarborough General Hospital. One of them is the cath lab that has been in essence defunct for quite some time. I mean, he has spoken publicly about ensuring that cath labs are available in Trinidad and Tobago. So when he came, he specifically wanted to see ours, to see the status of our lab, to determine whether it could actually be one of the priority projects for the Ministry of Health to ensure that at least one functioning cath lab is on the island. And it is that kind of collaboration. We speak when we need to about projects. He calls me very frequently if there is something happening and he needs to get a full update. I call him. So the relationship is one where we are cordial. The relationship is one where there is mutual respect. And I think that is the critical part. So I'm excited about the visit, and I'm excited about the things that can come out of the visit. First of all, being the cath lab whenever that happens, but we are also talking about other projects that we could work on as well to ensure that Trinidad, the healthcare in Trinidad and Tobago is fine, and specifically that the healthcare in Tobago is significantly improved.
And what was your staff's response to that visit? Because he would have brought his team, and of course you have your team on this end.
So my staff, they actually were really welcoming. I almost had to tell them, oh, you're doing too much. Because it was exciting to finally have a government that seems to honestly respect you and to honestly respect what the Tobago House of Assembly is and how the Tobago House of Assembly is supposed to function. So it was critical in that regard. You know, I could see the excitement and the possibilities being thought of, and, you know, ideas being, popping up, because we can now think about how we can truly work together. So they were excited, and it means that the projects, some of the projects, for example, that we have put into the budget, for example, so we know that, you know, the recurrent spend that we request for the division is about 800 million. We request another couple millions for DP. We are having those conversations as to why we are asking for this money, as to why we need all of it, most of it, if not all of it. And those are conversations that I've never had before. So I am hopeful.
Right, that's excellent. And let's just quickly talk about Roxborough, because we know I have heard many persons talk about, oh, I don't mind going to Roxborough Hospital. You know, I don't know what's going on at Scarborough, but you hear especially senior citizens I come across with, and they talk about how they are treated and they get through. Give us a little update about Roxborough.
Well, you know, I'm glad you spoke about the senior citizen thing, because Roxborough actually has an accreditation, a special accreditation for I'm not using the correct term, but in essence, is senior citizen friendly.
Right.
Almost the same way the Scarborough General Hospital has a baby friendly accreditation, Roxborough has a senior citizen. So maybe that is what you are seeing playing out, which is wonderful. So Roxborough, we are still working through ensuring that we can do as much as we can do in Roxborough. The physical structure honestly was not purpose built for a hospital.
Right.
And because it was not purpose-built for a hospital, we've had to spend quite a bit of resources getting it up to the stage where we can do hospital-like services, which we are doing. I have to say to the team up there, they've been doing an amazing job at building out the services, but it is a work in progress. And as we are working through everything that is happening now, we are actually thinking about what we need to do to possibly even expand the footprint of Roxborough so that we can provide even more services to the people of the East, so that they don't have to come to Scarborough for everything.
Right. And let's just talk about, you know, general customer service. We know, and when you look at Scarborough Hospital, I mean, it has to take a lot. It's not like you have many options. Yes, we have the health centers, but we know some of us, we love to go A&E. I don't know what's the pull, but you have Canaan, you have Scarborough, the larger health centers who can usually deal with a particular issue. But many of us are wired to go to Scarborough General Hospital. And sometimes we put some pressure on the A&E staff there who has to now filter and find space for us. Not just looking at customer service in general. When people are warded, when they have to be discharged, you know, when you look at the division's page, whether it's on social media, the vision, the mission, it looks so grand and it makes you feel like, yes, but sometimes one's experience doesn't match with what's there in print. What is the division doing to ensure that, you know, your staff really understands the environment in which they work in? And sometimes they need to show some empathy.
A bit more empathy.
Yes.
Yeah. So I like to think about things from a systemic point of view. And yes, you are correct. I probably more than anyone else get the calls, get the messages, get the tags on Facebook, get the videos sent to me about the negative experiences people have been having. But what I've been saying is and I've said it to the TRHA, we need to work out what is the systemic issue. So people respond negatively when they are not in an enabling environment.
Yes, true.
Yeah?
Yes.
So that is it. What makes the Scarborough General Hospital an enabling environment is what we have to ask ourselves. If you are going to A&E, it means that you need to have the diagnostic tools to ensure that you are not sitting there for hours and hours. You can get diagnosed quickly. We can figure out what's going on with you and send you to wherever you need to be. Are those diagnostic tools available? In many instances, they were not, and we are building on them. As a matter of fact, later this week, I will not say just yet, but later this week, we should get a release sent out to the media to invite them to the commissioning of a nice piece of equement that they are working on right now. So we have to look at it from that perspective. We also need to look at this, the workflow of things. And right now, I've actually tasked the TRHA. They have started working through how do we ensure that the workflow makes sense. So when the patient comes in, what is the first point of contact? Does it make sense that this is the first point of contact? And then when that happens, what happens next? And we are kind of working through treating with those things so that the overall experience for the patient is a swifter, more efficient one. And that would help with the customer service part of it, because you don't want a system where you have two sets of people who are just very upset.
Right, yes. And it happens.
And it happens. And on the
Yes.
back end of it as well, what we've also been doing is trying to beef up the actual staffing complement at the facilities, because we were severely understaffed for quite a while.
Right.
So we're actually now hiring the doctors, the nurses, the ENAs, the other auxiliary staff, and
Right.
so forth, so that the staff themselves, when they get to work, they don't have to worry about the fact that they may be the only nurse on the ward. They're working overtime,
Right.
and they're just very upset.
Yes.
And then that is what you see
That transfers
transfers
into-
to the patient. So as I said, we're looking at this from a systemic point of view to try to ensure that we have all of the pieces that fit together to provide the best quality care for people. It is taking a little bit of time,
Yes, of course.
but like everything else, these things take time.
Right.
It is taking resources, because you know the machine that we're talking about is like a $10 million.
Right.
I always tell TRH, whenever I talk to them, I feel like if we're playing Monopoly,
Right.
because
The
if
monies you're dealing
everything
with.
is $10 million for the
Right.
TRG.
Right.
But it's all part of trying to develop the system and ensuring that the system works for everybody.
Right. And, you know, you mentioned you get the calls when something negative happens, but we must admit that you have staff that goes beyond the call. I have met some of them. You know, you have some doctors, nurses, even the clerks that are there. I always talk about the phlebotomists who work in the clinic area. You all are the best. Good morning to you. You know, so that we recognize many of you who sacrifice, you work the hours you put in, you ensure that your patient is comfortable, and we really appreciate that. But we live in a society where negativity usually gets the headlines and all the noise is made there. But we want to salute those of you who understand your role and really have made, you know, the public health sector stand on its own, and many of us are served by it. So thank you very much this morning. Now, viewers, we go for a quick break. When we return, we switch gears a bit. We talk about that press release we saw coming out of the TRHA July 8th. Many of us were concerned, worried, how did this happen? What does this mean? So when we return, we continue to talk to Dr. Bregner about that situation.
I say thanks your favor. So wake up and hear me neighbor. 60,000 people strong. And
With Flow Business's new smart solutions, powered by super fast, reliable broadband, you'll feel like there are more versions of you working for you. From website design, development, and digital marketing to promote your business, 24/7 business class support to cloud solutions, security, and more. Multiply your growth today.
Hello, New York. Are you ready to celebrate the essence of Crusoe land and the culture of Tobago? Well, get ready for Tobago Day in New York City, hosted by the Tobago Empowerment and Alliance Mission, Sunday, August 17, 2025, Nazareth High School Courtyard, 475 East 57th Street, Brooklyn, New York, 12 noon to 8 p.m. We bring the Tobago vibes to the Big Apple. Live music, Tobago food, cultural performances, and family fun. So bring Tanty, Granny, the uncle, invite the whole neighborhood. Just bring everybody and bring your significant other too. Come celebrate Tobago Day in New York City, Sunday, August 17th, Nazareth High School Courtyard. But hey, I forget to tell all you, it's we 10th anniversary celebration. For more information, call 929-327-7857 or check Team's Facebook and Instagram pages, Team Tobago Day.
My name is Tina Macmillan, your last year's third place winner and the Miss Photogenic for last year's Miss Heritage Personality Show. And this year, I want to carry you with me for my Tobago Heritage experience. I'll be hosting With Tobago Updates, bringing you live coverage behind the scenes and also their giveaways, tickets to the heritage events, and a 2-night stay to the Manzolina Grand. So you need to stay locked on to Tobago Updates on all their social media platforms, Kina Macmillan on Facebook and originalmedusa.tt on TikTok. My Tobago Heritage Experience with Tobago Updates. Stay tuned.
do something and roll back, come let me reel. I make a brush back, brush back. Do something and roll back, come let me reel. I make a brush back, brush back. Do something and do something. Hey. I see girls, I see fun, I see winding up in the sun. I see 10 bottle of rum, DJ start the thing, let me jump. Cause I see girls, I see fun, I see winding up in the sun. I see 10 girls to a man, DJ start the thing, let me rum my shit. When my team touch down, everything get wild. Hey, hey, hey. Take out your flag and fling it up. Take out something and fling it up. Fling it up, fling it up high. Hey, hey, hey. Start to jump up and fling it up. Take out something and fling it up.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks a favor to wake up and hear my neighbor. 60,000 people strong, and the vibes is never wrong.
Welcome back, viewers. Thank you for staying with us. I continue our conversation this morning with Dr. Faith Brebner, Secretary in the Division of Health, Wellness and Social Protection. And we're switching gears a bit. When I introduced her, I teased her a bit and spoke about her being in the media recently and her division. So we had the ambulance fiasco earlier on, and it's amazing that when the dust settled, you heard a totally different story where the board would have walked us through, the steps and given us information. Then we had quite recently last week, the press release saying, hey, if you don't have to come to the hospital, please don't come. We're at full capacity. I just summarized it, how we received the message, right? On July 8th, and we saw the hospital system was put in emergency mode. Dr. Brebner, this kind of attention, and we are a people who we run with the first bit of news, and that's why for some folks it's true, and people tell you, you even hear it from the media sometimes, we don't have to worry about accuracy, just get it out, we'll fix whatever problems after, because whatever gets into the people's mind first, that's the story that has the strength in terms of it running and it becoming truth, which is very dangerous, but that is how it is. When you see yourself, your staff who works hard, your division, put in the media like this, and individuals, giving their vision, maybe part may be true, part may not be true, how does that impact the division and its employees?
Certainly, it is, and I'm glad you phrased it that way, because I seem to really have been starring.
Yes.
And as an introvert, so this is actually not comfortable for me at all, but it is part of the process. I understand that. I actually think I have a theory, and the theory is that this is actually part of the PNM's strategy, and let me explain what I mean by that. The organization known as the People's National Movement have been in governance in Tobago for 20-something years. The reason why we are here now is because the people of Tobago decided to give us a chance. And I will say because those who were there before did not do what they were supposed to do.
Okay.
They did not deliver what they were supposed to deliver. They are actually quite bad at governance. If you look at track record, the organization is bad at governance. What they are really good at, though, is ensuring that whenever anyone else is governing, they are able to switch the minds of the people. And I see this as a two-pronged mechanism. The first prong has to do with tainting the perception of the ones who are there now doing it. So I'll use myself as an example. The thing is happening with the ambulance. You certainly hear all of these commentary about corruption and all of these things that are not true. And if you really listen to what the TRHA outlined, the procurement process was exactly as it should have been. But the aim was not really to talk about that, The aim was to ensure that the individuals who have a faith in me start quavering a little bit and having that confidence in me diminish a little bit. And it's something that they use a mechanism that allows it to creep over time. So you do it with one thing, you do it with the other thing, you do it with something else, and after a while you realize we are close to election and people suddenly have all of these things that they are now not quite sure of about Dr. Faith, and I'm using myself as an example. And I see that as part of their strategy. On one side, it is part of their strategy. That will not work. But on the other side, I think, and this is the part that is actually more dangerous, I think the other side of their strategy is to prevent the people of Tobago from actually experiencing joy. Joy in the things that are now happening for them. So, for example, using the ambulance situation again, instead of you seeing these ambulances as a regular person on the street and you're walking around and you're seeing them passing and saying, well, oh, there's a new ambulance. Oh, we're so happy that there's a new ambulance. Just in case mommy or daddy needs an ambulance, I know there are now ambulances. They now have put into your mind this idea of there are so many things associated with the ambulance. So you now cannot experience the level of joy that you should have experienced, because we are now doing in 3.5 years what they did not do in 21 years. And that is why I actually said, I did a short Facebook post yesterday where I actually said to people, I actually don't want you to love or support me regardless or in spite of or in the middle of it all. Because when you use that qualifier, it means that you are also accepting that what they are saying might be true, when in fact what they are saying is absolutely not true. And you need to say to them, stop bringing that kind of information that is absolutely false to the public, because we as a public will not accept it. It has been their strategy. They have used it whenever they are out of power, and they are trying to use it now. But I'm saying to Tobagonians, we all do not allow them to use that strategy again, because in 3.5 years, you have gotten from this administration more than you have gotten from them in the last 21 years that they were there. You can't allow them to use that strategy on us again this time.
And how do you encourage your staff to work through the noise? Because even with the ambulance fiasco, you know, even without me knowing exactly what was happening, my thoughts were, okay, but there was a process to follow. Staff is involved. There must be a technical staff who would have done their research and said, this is the ambulance that is needed. And while the attention may have gone to you, I was more thinking on the back end, okay, well then if that is the end result, then somebody along the channel is accountable. You know, how does a staff member who would have done their job the best of their ability now deal with these kinds of accusations?
And part of what I was doing in the background was ensuring that the staff who did their work and did their work correctly they needed to understand that, yes, I know that this is happening publicly, and I know that I am the face of this and I'm getting the brunt of this, but know that I am not blaming you. Know that I have confidence that you did what you were supposed to do, because I know you are a competent procurement person, engineering person, whatever. I know that you are competent and you did what you were supposed to do. So don't worry, I'll take the hit. We will deal with it. I still have faith that you are doing your job, and that is what we have to go into this, knowing that I have your back and you have mine. You just keep doing what you need to do, because guess what? We have plenty more things to buy. You know why we have plenty more things to buy? Because them didn't buy it. So we have plenty more things to buy. We will need to go through the process as long as we follow the rules and nobody is doing anything. And I know that we're not doing anything. We're good to go. Let's just keep trudging on, because that is what we need to do for the people of Tobago.
And let's look at that press release briefly that was sent out July 8, and I read, the Scarborough General Hospital has activated emergency mode for the next 48 hours due to a surge in patient admissions and capacity constraints across medical and surgical wards. And it goes on to give some more information. When a hospital system goes into emergency mode, what does that mean?
What does that mean? So I think the world and Trinidad and Tobago is traumatized coming out of COVID. I think before COVID, we really didn't care what happened in the hospital. We wouldn't pay any attention to it. coming out of COVID, you see something like that and you automatically think, oh my God, the sky is falling. We have another COVID happening. But when you actually read what the release said, we were very clear. We simply have an increase in people who are presenting at the health facilities.
Right.
And what emergency mode allows us to do is to take a little bit of time and level off, balance back, basically. Because we had a situation where the medical wards were filled, the surgical ward was filled, and we had, what was it, maybe 13 or 15 people sitting in A&E who needed to be admitted.
Right.
And because that was happening, we decided that the best thing would be to halt everything that is not absolutely necessary right now. So for example, if you needed to do an elective surgery, what is an elective surgery? A surgery where you need to do it, but you don't have to do it right today.
Right.
You could do it next week. Yeah. Now the thing about the elective surgery is, even though it is not an emergency, when you come out of surgery, you still need to go into a surgical ward. Remember, we said the surgical ward is filled. There are no beds for you to go into the surgical ward after you've done your surgery. And we were also telling people, which is something that you spoke about earlier, that if you do not need to go to accident and emergency, we have all of these other facilities that you can go to so that we could free up the staff who are there so that they could treat with the patients who are already in the system. We can do some discharging. We can send some back to their health centers. We can send some to Roxborough because they don't need to actually be at Scarborough. Let us give us 2 days to figure this out, and then we will go ahead, which is exactly what happened. We took the 2 days, we figured it out, we did the maneuvering, and then we decided, okay, let's open back up. We can continue again. But we are also encouraging you to keep going to Bacolet, Canaan, and Roxborough, for example, if the thing that you are treating with does not need accident and emergency kind of service, so that we do not get back to this point.
So if it is I bounce my toe, I don't have to go into A&E at Scarborough. I could use one of my local health centers. I might be sneezing and think I have the flu. I don't have to go to A&E. The name speaks for itself. It's accident and emergency. So maybe some of the older ones were not used to having these health centers functioning and having all these services, but it's there now. So you don't have to go too far. Check your village, the health centers are operational. You have the smaller ones as well. You can even get your meds there. The pharmacist is there. Find out their schedule when they'll be there. You don't have to take a taxi into Scarborough,
and then to Signal Hill.
Yes, and then to Signal Hill. And we know sometimes how long we have to wait at the pharmacy there, right?
But let me also say though, part of what we are doing, remember I said we're doing this on a systemic level.
Yes.
Part of what we're doing is also looking at how the health centers can be restructured so that we can provide more of those services. Because again, people behave based on what they know. I am sure in many instances, people tried going to the health center, and when they went to the health center, they couldn't get the service and they had to go up to the hospital. So we have to make sure that when we are sending them to the health center can do what it needs to do. The primary healthcare system is actually currently reworking how we can provide those kinds of services so that we have, for example, senior doctors doing certain things, junior doctors doing other things, and we build it out in a way to encourage you to go to the health center, go to primary care, which actually is cheaper in terms of the cost of health care, to do that first before you head up to A&E. And while we're doing that kind of restructuring at the primary care system, we're also doing the restructuring that needs to happen at the A&E to ensure that when you actually get there with your accident or your emergency, that you are seen quickly, you are triaged quickly. We can decide whether you need to be here, whether you need to rush to go in now, whether you can wait a little bit, and that kind of thing is happening all around, which is why, as I said before, don't allow the others who were there for the 20-something years who didn't do it to take this blessing away from you. Don't allow them to do that.
And when we look at this same emergency, because I was one, and I'll be quite honest, when I read emergency mode, I'm like, what's going on? And then when I read it, I like, oh, the hospital full, you know, because I am from South Trinidad, and when you go to San Fernando General Hospital, it's not an emergency mode, but you can clock in at A&E at 10 o'clock and not get a bed until the following morning. So I was like, oh, normal thing. People may be not used to that in Tobago,
And
you
I
know?
think the difference is I may be one of the first secretaries because I am the one who insisted on making this public.
Right.
When they called me and said, Doc, this is what we need to do, I said, but we need to tell the public.
Right.
We cannot just do this and not tell the public.
Right.
And I think that is what is different because I insist on communicating. I insist on having Tobagonians understand what we are doing and why we are doing it so that you could do what you need to do. Now, the other part about that is we recognize that the people who are coming in seem to be generally unhealthier.
Right. And I wanted to ask, how does the system now deal with that? Because this can happen quite often.
And by the way, it's been happening.
Right.
In terms of we've been seeing the trends of the high occupancy rate.
Right.
So it's not like last week it suddenly happened.
Right.
I've been getting the data from the hospital for the last couple months and we've been seeing the trends going up. So that has been happening. But we need to look at it again from several approaches. The system, ensuring that the system works so that it doesn't have bottlenecks is part of it. But the population also needs to do what I did last year. What did I do last year? I got up one day and recognized, Faith, you're fat. And then I went to the doctor and Dr. Duke buffed me because my cholesterol high and this, that, and the other, and how you could be secretary for health and you not healthy. And we had a long, uncomfortable conversation. And then I thought, okay, Faith, you need to do something about this. And I think that is part of the problem that we are seeing now, where we have people who are generally unhealthier, if that is a word. And because they are generally, their baseline is unhealthy, whenever they get quote unquote sick, you know, it's kind of like if you are, if you get a little cough or cold, a little flu, if you're top shape, it might last for a day. But if you down and out, you get a cold for a week, 2 weeks.
And it turns into something,
else.
More serious. And,
exactly. And we're also seeing with the non-communicable diseases, for example, because those are the things that were presenting at the hospital, not any infection or anything like that. When they were coming for amputations. They are coming because their kidneys now failing and we need to figure out to get them to dialysis. They are coming because they need to be hospitalized, and we're recognizing that when a patient like this normally would take 2 days in the hospital, they're now taking 5, they're now taking 7. So they're there longer because their baseline is now in an unhealthy state. And that is where we think the real work has to happen, where each individual has to take their own individual responsibility for themselves, for their families. I mean, I hope you're not expecting me to come in your house and tell you, don't eat this or don't eat that.
But you see, we have
we
have a society though. You know, sometimes I wonder if we want people pick us up, take us. You know, we have that kind of outlook in life, and I think it's so interesting that we don't see the connection because the government have to provide health services. Well, you're talking about me and what I eat. That have nothing to do with me. And that's the mindset that many of us have. And we don't understand the long-term impact, how we live all has an impact on someone else.
And talking about the government having to provide the service is not free. One of the reasons you cannot get all of the other things you need as a society is because every single month, as a rule, I have to approve sending at least $40 million to the TRHA every single month. Me ain't talking about for the year, you know. Every single month, because that is what it costs for health care on the island. And by the way, I saw a little note from the CEO saying, by the way, it's 45 million we need. You know what I mean? And because we now have to provide, because we now have to think about expanding the hospital to get more beds, it means we now have to inject more money into that instead of dealing with schools, instead of dealing with other community facilities, instead of investing into other things. So it's a cyclical thing, and you not being healthy is actually preventing so many other things.
Because
from
even
happening.
if you provide and you expand the service, if we as a people continue not to take care of our health, we will still have the bottleneck. We will still be full at capacity. How does the TRHA then try to be more intentional? Because I know there are ads, so we will hear, oh, a blue room open, a pink room open, and then we hear nothing about it again. You know, we know that men shy away from getting medical checkups, and yes, we may have a guest, someone from your division coming and talking about Men's Health Day and encourage and a one-time fee. But how does the division become more intentional in making sure people really understand this and encourage some sort of change?
Certainly, and you are correct about that. I also would take responsibility for not doing more of that, probably because we were really, the division and the TRHA has been in almost an emergency mode for the last 3.5 years.
Yes.
I will be the first one to admit that I was an OJT and I only now figuring out what to do.
Right.
This whole Secretary for Health position, I am finally understanding what it takes to get to where we needed to go. So as we have some of these other things balance off, as we get rid of some of the emergency issues that we've been dealing with, we can now start dealing with some of these other societal, health promotional and so forth issues. But those are also part of the plan as it relates to the strategic direction of the TRHA and of the division, and we are now working through how to get to that point, which again is why I say to people, don't allow them people to take this blessing from you all. We are getting there. Do not give up on us now, just as we are getting to the point of going above and beyond what you are used to.
Right, because when you became secretary, you had to hit the road running. You had COVID to deal with.
It was in the middle of COVID. It was trying to deal with that. It was in the middle of not having ambulances. It was in the middle of everything seemed to have been breaking. And we had to just get back to basics so that we don't all die. And now we can do the lift, and now we can jump ahead to talk about healthy and health promotion and the other things that are necessary.
And we're talking about being intentional, and I would have vaguely recalled at some point someone from a department in your division talking about schools, etc. But can we, you know, ramp up the information that our young ones have it packaged, of course, age appropriately, and let them understand what a healthy lifestyle is? How a simple thing, parents, please stop giving your children soda, especially on mornings or for lunch. You might treat them with it, but I see it, but that's just by the way, as the thought popped in, right? Because I don't know, you know, be intentional. So even if mommy or daddy makes a poor choice, that child can say, you know what, I learned this and that, and I don't think we should have that. So my older son goes through these cycles, right? Of course, like typical children, they like snack, but I may regulate the type of snack. I try to choose the lesser of the evil snacks for them. And you know, he would go, he loves to exercise. So he would go through these videos and he would exercise, and he wants this app on my phone to borrow it. And then I would give him a snack. Oh, I'm having carrots today. Oh, I'm having this. But it don't last too long. But I encourage the little snippets of when it comes. Or he will correct me, mommy, you know, you shouldn't be eating that. Or you come in to exercise, they say you want to exercise, you know. So, and I would tease him because then I could get whatever snack. I say, wait, what happened to the carrots phase, you know? And I would tease him. But he's learning and he's aware. So even in his moments, you know, he is able to make those decisions and say, you know, I don't want this because it's not healthy. How can we get children to get to that point?
So I think that is something that needs to also happen in the schools. I remember when my mom was a teacher and in preschools, you know, they used to have, instead of snack time, you have fruit time.
Yes.
And they actively, I mean, they wouldn't throw it away, but if the parent sent the child with a snack in a paper, they would send it back.
Right.
You know, we're not throwing away your food. We're not throwing away your
But not on our watch.
Not on our watch, not on our compound. Send them with a fruit instead. So I think it is that kind of societal thing that needs to happen. But yes, it does need to start from early. And I would throw in one other thing as well that we're having a serious challenge with. And this is on the public health side, where we are seeing Tobagonians just being downright nasty.
Right.
Where they are tossing things out, and right under a no dumping sign, you see people dumping. I think this says something about our psyche as a society generally, that we simply do not care. And that, I think, is a larger, bigger cultural thing that we need to figure out how to fix. And then I think the body part will come as well when we are doing all of those things together.
And even we spoke about sodas and soft drinks. Let me not Americanize this. We say sweet drink and
drinks.
soft drink, right? Even some of these schools, I remember Harman School of Estate was one of the first secondary schools who would have banned soft drinks from their cafeteria. I know bishops would have followed. I don't know if these things are still being upkept, to encourage students. Yes, you have the juice, it has the sugars, but it's a little less dangerous or less the impact of it than the soft drink, because and you see them, they're going through town, they stop by this roadside shop, they buy, a certain brand soft drink, a certain color, and that is what is normal. Yes.
And that's the thing. Doing it every once in a while may be fine, but when we calculate how much of it we do, it's not once in a while. It is normal. It is every single day, and that is where the challenge comes in.
And this part of the world, we have a serious sweet tooth. I visit a bakery sometimes, and I like savory pastries. And every time I go to this particular bakery, everything is sweet. And I like, y'all don't cater for people who don't like sweet stuff. And they'll be like, this is what the people want. And I'm like, the intake of sugar. So we may be conscious of, okay, I'm not going to drink this soft drink, but I'm having a jam tart or coconut tart. I'm eating a pack of biscuit with cream filling.
And all of it is sugar.
And we don't realize that we might try to take it out one way, but we're actually adding more another way. So we have to take accountability. It's, it's ourselves, it's our life. I try to think of my children, my grandchildren to come if God spares my life. I want to be around. So I have to take these little steps. And I'm preaching to the choir here because I don't do what I'm supposed to do all the time. We know the struggle. I know the struggle, but we have to do it bit by bit.
And you have to, and that is the part, I think, drastically. And we try to make a change that is just not sustainable.
Right.
So that is what we also need to encourage, that, if you think about it, doing it bit by bit, doing it intentionally. So let's say for lunch, I will not, or I will only drink water with my lunch. That is starting. And then you can add something, and then you can add something, so that is something that you can sustain, that is something that you can continue doing.
And I like that, setting sustainable goals. Just little things. So choose a water day, one day for the week. That's your day. You're not having anything with added sugar. If you need something sweet, get a fruit. Find a 5 finger somewhere. Oh gosh, mango. We still have mango season, And even with our fruits, those of you who are not supposed to, do one mango a day is enough. Don't sit down with the bucket and the bowl, right?
And I would, one more thing I would add really quickly to that is, when I say be intentional. So for example, if you know where my the Division of Health, Wellness and Social Protection, it is probably the tallest building in that area.
Yes.
I refuse to take the elevator.
Right.
Take the stairs.
Yes.
Just taking the stairs is one step in the right direction, because you are now adding your activity. Take it up and down. Whenever you see me going into the elevator, know that it's because I toted in a whole set of stuff, or I am in a hurry that I need to get up there and come back down quickly. But other than that, take the stairs. We have a building like where we are now. That elevator should never be in use. Take the stairs. So it's just those little intentional things that we're encouraging people to do, and hopefully we will never have to go into emergency mode in the hospital again. We would, as a matter of fact, when the ambulances come, we will never need them, because we are all healthy and so forth.
And you have seen countries who are able to do it, who have been able to decrease what they spend on their public health care system. So it's doable, but we have to play our part, and we can't just sit for governments to come, governments to go and be they fix it all. We have a responsibility, and we all need to work together. I always encourage us, because we now in this modern world, we are all in our little spaces and we mind our business, but you are your brother's keeper. I am my brother's keeper. Form a little walking group. It's easier when you have someone to help you feel accountable. So if I have to walk on my own, trust me, it ain't happening. But when I have my girlfriend who would call, or my husband will say, hey, meet me so-and-so, we walk in, then I have no other choice. I show up. So do little things like that, and we can get there. Keep that hope. We will get there if we really want to. And Dr. Brebner, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to sit with us, explain training, especially that emergency mode, because I know many of us would have seen it and not really understand what it meant. And we know that we are not in that mode, and it simply means that the hospital is at full capacity. So if you don't necessarily need to be there, and it allows for the system to pause so you can get things up and running again. So viewers, this is the end of our GMT this morning. I will not be here Friday. You know I'm your Friday face. All right, Chanel will hold on for me. If not Chanel, you'll have someone quite competent to take us through the paces. Let's join Chanel tomorrow, Tuesday, for another episode of GMT. And thank you for staying with us this morning.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks a favor to wake up and hear my neighbor. 60,000.
Hi, I am Dr. Faith Brubner, Deputy Chief Secretary and Secretary for Health, Wellness and Social Protection. So we are here at the orientation for the TRHA internship. This is the third year we're having this internship, and it really is an opportunity for young people to see the inner workings of the healthcare sector. And the inner workings of the healthcare sector would allow them to determine their career paths, and it's really just an opportunity for them to understand how healthcare really works and to see how they can be a part of that future.
Hi, I'm Jaylene Jennings Henry, former TRHA intern 2024. My experience with the TRHA internship program has been wonderful. I have gained a lot of experience, met new people. I did not go into the position that I wanted to go into, but the position that they placed me gave me an immense amount of opportunities. I met new people. I worked really hard. I was outstanding, and I was given more opportunities to the future and gained some new contacts. Absolutely. I would recommend this program because you will, as I said, you would gain more opportunities. You would meet new people. It has certain parts in life that may be dull to you, things that have not been brought to your attention as a young adult, that they would enlighten you on, not just in the workspace, but in life itself, in finance, in house building, in getting a car. All of these things, business, would help you as a young person going into the work world and as an adult.
My name is Jabari Darlington, and I am a past TRHA 2024 intern. No, I would not recommend it for the hospital alone because I am someone who does not plan to get into the medical field after I finish my studies. And seeing as the internship was all inclusive, I don't think it should just be limited to the hospital alone, but the office area is important as well in day-to-day activities, even within the hospital.
Hi, my name is Janae Nicholas, and I'm a part of the 2025 TRHA Summer Internship Program. For this program, I came into it anticipating to have a good hands-on experience in the healthcare sector. Specifically, I would love to learn more about the back-end things that helps the entire healthcare system to work, namely in biomedical engineering, how the equipment is maintained and repaired, and all the other paperwork and everything else that goes into it.
My name is Ellis Joel. I am a first-time participant in the TRHA Summer Intern Programship. My expectations from this program is to, one, develop my leadership skills and proceed forward in becoming a better leader, exploring and getting hands-on development in the area of engineering, as well as expanding my knowledge to see where in the healthcare industry can I continue and improve and bring my knowledge as an electrical engineer in the biomedical area to develop healthcare and even other parts of society around the world.
My name is Dela Baker and I'm a first-time participant of the TRHA Summer Internship Program. Well, what I expect from this program is to gain a better understanding on the work world and to understand how the health system works. I am an aspiring psychologist, and I believe that this program can be very beneficial to me so that I can gain more knowledge. For future participants, I hope that they are able to as well gain this knowledge, and I hope that this program can continue so that it can better our community and better the lives of all the youths.
My name is Giselle Gittins-Peters. I am the Vice Chairperson for the Tobago Regional Health Authority's Internship Committee. So the truth is the TRHA would have started this internship program years ago, but then COVID came and voila, here we are. So the 2023 installment of the internship would have seen the reintroduction of the internship here at the Tobago Regional Health Authority. And the idea is to expose as many young Tobagonian students to what the healthcare industry has to offer. It is a dynamic ecosystem, and well, COVID would have taught us, listen, we need to do things better. So the internship is really like a gauge into preparing our young people into the world of work, into the entry into healthcare. And even if it is they don't come back to the healthcare industry itself, the skills that they would have been taught, the experiences, the networking, it would set them apart as part of the wider world of work. Oh, and that's one of the beautiful things with our program. This is not just for persons who probably have an interest in pharmacy, nursing, medicine. We have students from across the board. We have biomedical engineers, we have teachers, we have psychologists, we have persons who are actually doing what we call the traditional trades. So yes, we are allowing persons from a various cross-section of education to participate in the program. And like you said, it is not just doctors and nurses that make up this ecosystem. We have all these other allied health, and this is one of the ways that we get these persons to come on board to appreciate what it is we are trying to do here in Tobago.
I am Assemblyman Megan Morrison, area representative for the electoral district of Mount St. George Goodwood, and the Assistant Secretary of Health, Wellness and Social Protection. This summer internship is a way to bring much needed resources to the health institution. Initially, this program started, I think, with 50 participants. I think that number has increased. So already we have expanded the program. And as the need arises, I see the program going from strength to strength as the need becomes necessary.
Summer 2025.